Got to come out and say it. That episode was stacked. There was 2 title changes, including one to John Cena. 2 War Games matches pretty much set. A heel turn. That was really fun to watch. Welcome to Silo Voice Wrestling on YouTube and the Silo Voice Wrestling podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jason C. McLean, and these are my assorted thoughts on the November 10th, 2025 WWE Raw from the TD Bank Garden, or the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. Yes, it was John Cena's final Raw or final WWE appearance in his hometown, his hometown's West Newbury, but the closest to his hometown. But it was also the show that saw him for the first time ever win the Intercontinental Championship and become a Grand Slam champion with 3 more appearances to go, one of which is War Games. He's probably going to be in that. More on that later. One of which is his final show. So if he, I'll get into that in a bit. But yeah, this was beautiful. The setup was excellent. I was wondering why Triple H stayed in the ring after introducing John Cena. I'm like, okay, spotlight hog. But no, it made perfect sense because Dominic Mysterio's music hit. He wasn't coming down to challenge Cena. He was interrupting Cena because he wanted to talk to Triple H about letting some deadbeat interrupt him. And it was just, when I hit that music hit, I was like, wait a second, are they going to do it? Because I thought they were going to try and do it at Survivor Series. Cena versus Dom for the title. But then I was like, okay, no, it looks like they're going with Dom versus Ray, which is a much better match in San Diego. And they're going with Cena, probably part of the War Games. Again, more on that later. But yeah, no, so I thought, I guess it's not going to happen. But when Dom's music hit, I was like, do it, man. Find a reason to put the IC title on John Cena. And it was great. I guess Dom's been sort of like cheered and booed lately. He's sort of almost turning babyface, but you want to get him booed, you have him interrupt John Cena and be like, in the face of John Cena in Boston, like on his retirement tour. That was a perfect way to do it. Dom was a great foil here, a great heel. Triple H got the credit of announcing the match. And I'm watching the match. I'm watching it with my brother. I usually watch Raw. My brother's house. We're watching it, and Joe doesn't think that Cena's going to do it. He thinks maybe it's going to be a disqualification. Like, Cena's going to win by DQ. And I was like, yeah, but it'd be so great if they did it. Come on. Fine, they have a match, but like, just give him the time. I was like legitimately cheering for Cena. I didn't think so, but when it was the frog splash that Cena rolled over, turned into an AA 1, 2, 3. But before that, there was like the visual victory where Dom tapped out, but there was a ref bump. I was like, okay, great. Maybe Dom's going to cheat, but no, Cena won. That was such an excellent moment. And it creates such an interesting set of events to happen. Okay, let's talk about War Games. They set up in a kind of funny way with William Regal. We got one War Games team, which for the men's, which includes currently CM Punk, the World Heavyweight Champion, Cody Rhodes, the undisputed WWE Champion, and Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso. Obviously, there's going to be more. On the other side, we have Logan Paul, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. The Vision. I don't think Logan's permanently joining the Vision. I think he's just in it for this. And Paul Heyman, of course, in their corner. Now, I think they're going to add another champion, John Cena, to the babyface team, and probably Brock Lesnar to the heel team. And I think War Games is 5, so it always is 5 as far as I've seen. And by the way, so is the traditional Survivor Series match, teams of 5. I had a little disagreement with my brother there. But yeah, I think they're going to add, I don't know, not entirely sure on this one. I was going to say Drew, but he's off filming a movie and officially he's suspended. Maybe LA Knight on the babyface side, or Sammy. I mean, he's kind of involved in his own thing. But for the only War Games that have ever happened on main roster PLEs, Sami Zayn and Jey Uso have been on the winning side of both. So they could also just bring in Ilya Dragunov and have them all champions except for Jey. That might cause some issues. I don't know. On the heel side, I guess unless Drew comes back in time, I'm going to have to say TBA. I mean, there's probably someone I'm not thinking of. So, but regardless, it's shaping up. They got William Regal to say War Games. That was kind of cheesy. It was kind of staged, but it was It was fun. It was classy. Speaking of the women's War Games and the other title change, the Cena stuff opened the show. The Cena becoming a Grand Slam champion and beating Dominic Mysterio in his hometown was the opening match. The closing match, the main event, also saw a title change. The Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, beat I guess they're friends now, whatever. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, with the interference from Nia Jax and her new buddy, who's no longer from NXT. I think they still said from NXT, but she's pretty much on SmackDown now on the main roster, Lash Legend. All of a sudden you're on the main roster, you're showing up on SmackDown, you're on Raw, you're with Nia Jax, and within a few weeks you're in the WarGames team in the PLE. So that's great. Yeah, so it's the Kabuki Warriors won. I was thinking that maybe they weren't going to change the title because they had already done one title change. My brother was sure that they were going to change the title. And they looked at one point like they had won. Maybe they're going to do something after the match. But then, no, the interference. There hadn't been interference yet. There's always going to be interference. And Kabuki Warriors won. And, okay, so for the women's War Games, there's already 4 on each side. We got, and this is pretty solid teams. On the babyface side, we have Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley with a face mask screams, War Games! Probably the leader. And on the heel side, we have the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, Lash Legend, and Nia Jax. That's pretty dominant. Those two are probably very dominant. As for another person, I mean, you're thinking you can maybe do Nikki Bella and more on her later, and Stephanie Vaquer, but no, I think they're going to go Becky Lynch on the heel side, the Women's Intercontinental Champion, and AJ Lee on the babyface side. Maybe Punk will call in a favor. Rhea will call in a favor to Punk, get her to call AJ Lee. Or maybe AJ Lee. Yeah, AJ Lee next week at Madison Square Garden, which promises to be another stacked Raw. We have AJ Lee. No, we have Becky Lynch defending against Maxine Dupree. I don't think they're going to strap up Maxine, although that would be wild. And you can still do Becky and AJ, but I think maybe AJ is going to come after Becky cheats. And the third championship match on the show, Stephanie Vaquer defending the Women's World Championship against Raquel Rodriguez. And it's the only championship match that didn't have a title change, but it's also the one that had a heel turn. Now, first of all, the match itself, Raquel looked dominant. I think she took Kevin Nash's advice. She looked, I don't think I've seen her look better. She completely dominated Stephanie Vaquer. She turned the Devil's Kiss into an offensive move for her. And yeah, Stephanie eventually did prevail, but she was fighting from underneath. At first, she tried to be dominant. She was definitely fighting from underneath. Raquel, I could have believed Raquel winning the championship. I mean, not storyline wise at that point, but I could see her as a champion in the future. She's got that dominant persona. Of course, there was cheating from Roxanne Perez, which Nikki Bella stopped, and then Stephanie won. Nikki Bella, getting rid of the two of them with Stephanie, and then she turned on Stephanie. And I kind of knew it was going to happen. I think we could see the whole, the sort of jealousy, or she's not feeling right. And then she just, of course, she wants to get the championship from Stephanie. She didn't even pronounce her name right the first time. And that was obviously a mistake, but they can maybe play on that going forward. But yeah, and I love the fact that she had the red, tank top on with it said Fearless on it. She pulled it off after she turned heel. It was a black tank top with Fearless on it. That was good. So I think, yeah, Nikki Bella heel turn. I'm for this. I mean, I think Stephanie's going to prevail in the feud. Maybe Bella will get the championship and then Stephanie will win it back. But I don't think this is definitely a WrestleMania feud, but this is a nice feud going forward till I think Liv Morgan comes back or something like that. But still, it was a major thing. It was a heel turn. We all knew it was going to happen. It happened on this really stacked show where a lot of other stuff happened. But we also had matches that were in the Last Time Is Now tournament to determine John Cena's final opponent. We had Rusev beating Damian Priest. We have Sheamus beating Shinsuke Nakamura. That's no, I don't know if the brackets are going to go Sheamus versus Rusev because they already have a feud. But you know what? Sheamus now has a whole other motivation to win the tournament. The fact that John Cena is most likely going to be defending the Intercontinental Championship in that match. And Sheamus has famously also said that that's the one championship that's evaded him to make him a Grand Slam champion. So I don't think I'm sure Gunther's going to be the final opponent, which Gunther winning the IC title again could be interesting. It's a little odd. Maybe Cena will lose it before. I don't know. I think Gunther's going to be the final opponent. I'm glad his first match is against Javon Evans. Like, sorry, that's going to be an excellent match, but sorry, Javon, I think Gunther's going through at least to the final, if not winning the tournament. But my low-key winner is not a young up-and-coming talent. It's Sheamus, just so he could win the Intercontinental Championship. But again, it's got to be about Cena's last match, not about the Intercontinental Championship. The two surprises, I mean, both announced in the same way. I was pretty sure one is Joe Hendry, maybe the other is Obafemi, or maybe somebody else from TNA or something like that. But the reason why I thought Nick Aldis didn't want to say it was because when you say Joe Hendry's name, he appears. Let's try it. Joe Hendry. No, only appears if you actually like work for one of the wrestling companies he's involved with. Me just saying it, on a YouTube channel that maybe doesn't have enough followers, he doesn't just appear. I could do a graphic and make him appear over here. Let's try it. Joe Hendry. If you actually saw the graphic, that means I had the time to do the editing. If not, this part's probably going to be cut out. But yeah, so it's looking like a really good tournament. And I also really like that Cena announced that on his last match, it's going to be main roster stars versus the best of NXT. So that's going to give a lot of people, it's basically like, how do you sell out like a basketball and hockey arena and get massive viewership for an NXT show? Well, you make the main event John Cena's last match, and you could put anything else on the undercard. That's a great idea. I believe it was Cena's idea, but it's a great idea to give exposure to some of the young talent, and some of them we've been exposed to already. For those of us who don't watch NXT, it might get some of us watching NXT. I watch it occasionally. Anyways, regardless, this I was pretty sure it was going to be stacked and really excellent. I was not aware of how good it was going to be, and I'm looking really forward to the Raw next week at Madison Square Garden. But these were my assorted thoughts on the November 10th, 2025 WWE Raw. And yes, I'm recording this in a bit of a rush. I'm recording this around 2 p.m, the day after, the 11th of November. So like I haven't really, even if this comes, hopefully I'm going to get it edited and out tonight. But if it comes out later, if something happens between when this is being recorded and when you see it, I didn't know it, that's when I recorded this. Did you agree with my assorted thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Follow at Silo Voice Wrestling on Facebook and Instagram, at Silo Wrestling on X, and me at Jason C. McLean on X and Instagram. Also, jasoncmclean.bsky.social on Bluesky. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications to get all my wrestling hot takes, cold takes, simmering takes, wrestling opinion pieces, WWE premium live event prediction and review videos, and assorted thoughts on Raw and SmackDown. And yes, I will be back. I'm sure next week's Raw is going to be stacked. SmackDown's been good. Hopefully it's stacked too, but I'll be back regardless with my assorted thoughts on SmackDown. Until next time, for Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean.